Mel Blanc has now been a movie cartoon voice for more than 50 years. That means many of the first children to hear him in the movies are now grandparents, and their children and grandchildren are still laughing at Mel and Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Sylvester the Cat, and Tweety Bird. He wants his characters to outlive him, so he has taught almost all of his voices to his son, Noel. And Noel Blanc, by the way, doubles as Mel's manager. Please welcome Mel and Noel Blanc. It's great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
I mean, I've just grown up listening to so many of the voices. How many voices are there over the years?
Well, I thought that I had only done 400, but someone wrote and saw the interview and told me that I was wrong. I did 500 alone for Warner Brother cartoons.
Oh, just for one, so you know it's got to be around 1,000. You stop counting after a while, right? Did he, I just have to ask, because my husband does a whole thing at night, and he has all these different characters that he does, and Dr. Dentist comes in and helps the kids brush their teeth. Did you get put to sleep at night by just regular old dad, or did you ever get any of the voices?
No, it was all the voices, and
really?
In the morning, when I'd get the Sunday paper, at least I got off to school early other days and saved them, but on Sunday morning, when I'd get the paper, I'd make him read all the cartoons to me on the paper, and he'd have to do voices for not only his own, but for Prince Valiant and for Dick Tracy, and for, you know.
Did you find that sometimes, especially when he was really a little toddler, that you could get him to do other things if you'd assume another voice?
Not particularly. No. When I said Noel, he'd come running right away. He's a wonderful son. He still is.
When was the first time that he tried to do any of your voices? Was he little? Did he ever try to start doing a little bit of a Daffy Duck or something?
He used to listen to me all the time, and then we went on a trip once from Los Angeles, I think, back to Ottawa, Canada, or one of those places. And I would talk to him, and he would answer me in the same voice. I say, but boy, this sure is a big, long road.
I go, yes, and no kidding.
You did? Oh my
So we
God.
would do this all the way across the country.
So was it hard to learn the voices, or did you just start having them ingrained in you because you listened to them all the time?
I never even thought to really go ahead and learn them. I used to watch him do all these voices, and he would become the character. He does a Stanislavski method acting when he does these characters. You could shut off the volume and watch him do like Yosemite Sam or Daffy or Porky and know exactly what character. Oh yeah, but just looking at his face. So I used to study how he used to do this, and he said, you know, I would like you to learn some of the voices. So then I started listening. Rather than just watching and feeling, I started listening, and it's very difficult, very critical to get the right nasality for Bugs and the right, speech impediment for Daffy. There's a lot of different things to do.
Did you have a favorite?
I always liked Porky. His favorite is Bugs.
Is Bugs. I noticed. So how would you then talk to each other at home? You as Porky, you as Bugs. Let me hear.
Hey, Porky, how you feeling?
I feel, and that's so, I feel good.
So when you come out to say, have you finished your meal, you never know who Dad's going to be at that moment. So
You know, many people have tried to copy me.
Yeah.
And they haven't been successful. And the only one that is successful is my own son. Because I guess we have it in our genes or something. Because he can do exactly the same voice, and he sounds just like me.
But he created all of them. This, you got to give him credit for two things. His ear, he learned all of these voices by looking and by just literally creating them after seeing a character. But also, he was born with a voice box. There was a doctor that did a television camera study with one of those minute cameras that go down into the larynx.
Yeah.
Dr. Robert Fetter, who incidentally is recovering and had a stroke and is now as good as ever. But this man decided that he would take my dad and really take a look at the larynx with this camera. And he found out that his vocal cords are like 2 to 3 times bigger and stronger than the normal human being.
Because
and he compared his vocal cords to Caruso, which he had a photograph of that was taken by a still camera. So he was blessed with a set of vocal cords. When he does Yosemite Sam, for instance, he can do it for hours. If I do it, it's for a minute and a half.
All right, let me just hear a little
Here,
bit.
Yosemite.
Yosemite Sam's real tough on the throat, rather gravelly.
Okay, now let me hear it. Come on.
I don't do it. I won't be able to do the other.
Oh, okay. There are so many of them. It's just unbelievable when you think. Now, Warner Brothers has done its part to perpetuate the Looney Tunes. I'm told that they're doing the first movie cartoon short in almost 20 years. I mean, they just don't do these anymore. And the title is kind of self-explanatory. It's called The Duxorcist. And this is going to be a scene with Daffy Duck, the exorcist, cozying up to a client, I guess getting a little closer to the problem than he really wanted to. Let's watch.
Say, lady, where do you keep your glasses?
They're in the cupboard.
It's getting a little crowded in here. Let's say we move you on into someplace a little more cozy-like and talk things over. So, you have these Tupperware parties often?
Oh, Daffy, you're so witty.
Yes, I am witty at that. How very perceptive of you to notice.
Oh, Daffy, I'm so scared. And it's so comforting to have a short, dark, handsome duck like you to protect me. You will help me, won't you?
Oh, is that great? A lot of people might not realize, though, that before the whole movie career, you had this radio career way back. I want you to just do a little bit of one of my husband's favorites, because it was the Jack Benny Show, and there's the legendary Maxwell Car. He said, you gotta have Mel do Maxwell Car. Can you do just a little Maxwell?
Sure, I'd be glad to do a Maxwell Car. You know, that came about as it was a surprise, because the sound effects men would play on a phonograph record. They would play the motor of a car, and then to make it slow down, they'd hold their finger on the turntable
Yeah.
and would make it slow down and stop. So one day it came to that cue, and I saw that the sound effects men didn't have the plug put into the socket, and they couldn't turn the machine on. So I jumped up to the microphone, and it made like your father, your husband loves.
I'm out of breath watching him. Those are great. And I just want to learn a little bit about how you do this and find out how you've been teaching Noel to do it. So we're going to break for a moment, and we'll come back, and I'll try to learn a little bit of what they do. We'll be right back.
Something really new is in the works at the Huggies Diaper Factory. They're rolling out the driest Huggies ever. Kleenex Huggies Super Trim Diapers with the new Dry Touch system. Only Huggies Super Trim has a unique blue middle layer that funnels wetness into the padding, then helps stop it from leaking back. Now, boys and girls stay drier than ever. Huggies' new Dry Touch system. It's producing the happiest smiles ever.
A cheese riddle. Excuse me, Giorgio. What do you get when you add mozzarella to an ordinary tomato? Something to sing about. That's right. Cheese makes it taste better. So don't forget the cheese.
I believe in breastfeeding my baby, but I know I can't always breastfeed. So I believe in the Playtex nurser, because it's a nursing method most like breastfeeding. See, the collapsible bottle and natural-shaped nipple mean less air in Jamie's tummy, less gas, less spitting up, and better than glass bottles. They're pre-sterilized, disposable. You can believe in the Playtex nurser. It's most like breastfeeding.
And also try new Playtex disposable bibs. Easier for you, great for baby.
To babies about the Kodak Color Watch system.
Psst, babies, learn to talk now. See those big people taking your picture with the wonderful Kodak film? Tell them to get great developing, to look for the Kodak Color Watch seal. Color Watch means great developing. See, this seal says every picture is printed on Kodak paper. Come on, babies, your photos are important. Don't take this lying down. Kodak Color Watch for great developing. You're gonna thank me for it. Goo goo gaga, goo goody teepee.
Three guys, discount plumbing. Any pipe, any place, any price.
For clogs at their worst.
Oh, it's for you.
Call Liquid Plumber first.
You're watching Lifetime.
All right, a quick change of costume, and we're back with Mother's Day. Mel and Noel Blanc. You like my T-shirt? Look at this.
Great.
Go ahead, you can do it. What's up, Doc? How do you say it?
What's up, Doc?
Oh, and Warner Brothers heard that you were going to be coming. They sent us over a few presents. They sent this, and take a look at my husband. This is Michael Krause, who produces this show, as you know, with the special pair of shorts. This is what we call full disclosure, right? Who's all there? Yosemite Sam? I think Tweety and Sylvester. All of them. Who's your favorite on there? Sylvester? Do you do Sylvester?
No, the rabbit is my favorite.
Oh, that's
Doc.
right. The rabbit is your favorite.
Yeah, he's got to be the favorite. Everybody in the world knows him.
He's probably the one that people try to imitate the most, don't you think? I mean, because parents, you know, as parents, this is a wonderful diversion to try to get them. Okay.
There's one more that they try to imitate.
Who?
Almost everybody. That's Porky saying, that's all, folks.
Oh, okay. Let me hear you do it.
That's all, folks.
But
Let me
most
hear
of them
you
will
do
say, that's all, folks.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me hear it. Let me see if I can do it.
Do Bugs.
That's all, folks.
No, that's too tough.
no.
That's Porky.
That's Porky.
Bugs.
All right, try Bugs.
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? It's the nasal, right? Is it the nasal?
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the easier ones if we want to. You know, of course, we'll all make fools of ourselves, but it's fun with little kids, though, to do that because all of a sudden they immediately spark to it. So, okay, now what's the other one, though? Let me hear Porky.
Did you notice he became the character when he did it? You watch his face.
Absolutely.
When he does Porky, now watch his face.
Okay, do Porky.
Porky Pig talks with he talks with his can't talk straight.
You know, he's right. He's got your number. You do. I mean, you just become the character.
Sure, and now watch his face for Sylvester.
Okay.
The big sloppy cat.
I wanted to hear Sylvester.
My name is Sylvester, and I'm a big floppy cat.
All right, so you got to do the spitting right, you know? You just got to really get into it. It's the be able to spit with every word, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How can you say yes?
Well, certainly, just sort of keep your lips closed when you speak.
People think it's the tongue, but it's not. It's the lip.
It's the lip. It's the upper lip.
Upper lip.
What's something that you would suggest for parents at home, you know, when they're trying to do it? It's something, one of the easiest ones. Do you consider Bugs Bunny the easiest one?
Yeah, I think he's the easiest. That's right, Doc.
Who are some of the other favorites of yours?
Well, I like when he does Tweety.
Oh, let me hear Tweety.
Oh, I thought I saw a putty tat. I did see a putty tat.
Okay, now there's one that we could try.
And
I thought I saw a putty tat. A putty tat. Is it a squeezed voice or is it?
No, it's very coarse and very childish.
Oh, very.
See, he says,
Instead of I thought I saw,
I thought I saw a putty tat.
Instead of pussy cat.
A putty tat. A putty tat.
That's right.
Kids would love that.
Yosemite Sam would be real tough.
Oh, I can't even try. Can you do?
Well, you know, I really hold off doing Yosemite Sam. Yeah.
But he can do every voice. It's a funny thing, you know. Most people try to imitate me and do my voices.
Sure.
And they don't seem to come close. But I tried it with Noel, and he's almost identical to what I do.
It's really very strange. Yeah, we did a lot of things together. But since he's doing them so well, now I just sit back and direct.
But do you want to continue it on? You want to?
Eventually. I think maybe in 20 years, he'll get to 100 years old and say, okay.
Your turn. And then, I mean, you really kind of carry that responsibility in a way, kind of, to carry it on.
And, you know, of all the people who try to impersonate me, there's only one who can. And he does it right, and that's him.
And that's this guy.
Doc.
Well, we try. And I practiced long hours with him for a long,
really?
long time. Yeah.
So there's a lot of practicing day in and day out.
When he had an automobile accident back in 1961, that's when he made me start practicing right after that because they had obituary notices in all the paper that he died in 1961. He was hit on head-on. He doesn't remember because he was unconscious for 26 days. But he broke every bone in his body literally except his left arm, which must have been out the window. This leg in 30 places, this leg in 7. Triple skull fracture, every rib, every vertebrae, collarbones, pelvis, you name it. He had everything broken.
Oh,
and he was in a body cast up to here. In fact, they did the original Flintstones with him laying down. The first 60 episodes were him doing it in a supine position with a body cast out of his bed.
Where they can't keep a good man down,
But
right?
there's an interesting thing. They tried to awaken him from this coma. And it was a really comatic state. He wasn't really cohesive at all. It was just, there was no coherent feeling at all in his and they thought he was gone, that he was brain dead.
Oh, boy.
And he couldn't put sentences together. He couldn't say anything. The doctor would try every morning, and the doctor would try every morning. And then finally, you remember what happened.
The doctor would come in and say, "How are you feeling today, Mel?" And I wouldn't answer him. I could hear him, but I wouldn't answer him. And he got an idea. You know, I had a triple skull fracture, and he was a brain specialist. And he wanted to find out if I was ever going to come out of my, you know, being unconscious. And one day he came in and he says, "Hey, Bugs Bunny, how are you?" And I answered him. I said, "Just fine, Doc. How are you?"
Oh, my gosh.
And he said, "That's it." He says, "He's going to be all right. He's going to come out of his unconsciousness, and he's going to be okay because he can speak fine, and just as the character asks him to do." So that is how I knew. I thought I was dead, and that Bugs was the only one alive.
So after all those years of giving life to all those characters, in a way, they gave life back to you,
That's
didn't
right.
they?
Sure did.
And I just must tell you that Mel has written a book about his long career doing strange voices. It's called That's Not All, folks. You'll have to read it. Mel and Noel Blanc, many thanks for coming in and really brightening our day. And on that note, maybe you'll take us to commercial the way Porky would?
Sure. That's all, folks.